Okay, thank you, Tamas, and welcome to all of you. I repeat the invitation to mute your microphone while not speaking. Thank you. I am Carmen Portaro from Innovali Association, that is coordinating and support action to the initiative I4MS ICT for innovation for manufacturing SMEs. The objective of this big initiative is to help companies and especially manufacturing SMEs to cross the valley of death, what we call also the chasm. The aim is to reduce the risk for companies to be an early adopter of the advanced technology, and also to help suppliers to reach new markets with technologies that are being developed along the project in the R&D project in the FP7. 7 IP projects are associated under the umbrella of I4MS. CloudSME is with Fortissimo and CloudFlow involved in the project regarding the IPC cloud-based simulation services. But in I4MS, we also have different kind of technologies that we would like to promote. We have, for example, in the project Intetics, which has the aim to increase the performance of the machining processes by the use of the intelligent fixture systems. The Intetics project deals with the integration of new technologies to reduce the time and costs in all the manufacturing processes. Then we have also project for the promotion of advanced robot solution like Europe, that proposes an innovative scheme for development of technologies in robots. Europe has already launched 3 challenges in manufacturing, logistics, and plant services. All of these challenges are in 3 stages and involve the whole supply chain, fostering the collaboration between system integrators and end user community. And then Lashar and Apollo have the objective of to share knowledge on laser-based equipment, from the laboratory into industrial products. All of these projects are launched or are planning to launch open calls. To have more information on the project and to be updated regarding the open calls and other initiatives by the associated project, I invite you to visit often our website, I4MS. And also I would like to remind you about the I4MS event that we are organizing in Berlin. It will be on the 17th and 18th of June. I invite you to all to register on the event and participate, and also to share the information and invite interested companies to register. The agenda of the event is would like to involve especially SMEs to assist and to be informed about the experiments that are launched in the 7 projects. I also invite you to be in contact with us on LinkedIn and Twitter, not only on the portal. And if you have some other questions regarding the I4MS initiative, you can also contact direct with me at my email. Thank you. Now I leave the microphone to Tamas.
Okay, thank you very much, Carmen, for the introduction. I suggest to proceed with the second presentation. Again, this will be a very short one given by Gábor Perszánszky from the CloudSME project, and he is responsible within CloudSME to direct and to overview the process of the open call. So Carmen, if you could share my desktop with the participants, then they could see all slides about the open call.
I think you can already, you can share your desktop or application. You already can.
Okay, so do you see the slides? Hello?
Hello, Nine? No,
now we can see your desktop, yes.
Okay.
Okay, Carmen, could you please try to share your desktop with the participants? Well, I go back and I try to, yeah, it could be the problem is on my side. Okay. I share it now. Yep.
Now we are seeing it.
Okay, okay, thank you. Thank you for joining this webinar. I will give a very short overview of the open call. Okay, so basically, currently in the project, we have 4 SMEs who are simulation software providers, and we have another 6 SMEs who are either engineering or manufacturing SMEs who use the simulation software packages. The aim of the open call is to find 10 further SMEs, and we would like to have at least 6 different use cases to demonstrate how to use the simulation software on a cloud-based platform, particularly on the CloudSME simulation platform. In the open call, we explain that we are looking for 2 types of applicants. The first type of applicants will represent engineering or manufacturing SMEs who would like to run and who would like to run a simulation on a cloud. I mentioned there are 4 different simulation software providers in the project, and they provide different types of simulation software. The other option, the applicant type 2, basically is a consortium. The one member of the consortium must be a simulation software provider, and there should be at least one, preferably more engineering and manufacturing SMEs who are going to use this particular software. Okay, so we also described the expected task or the activities which we expect from the new project partners. The engineering and manufacturing SMEs are expected to define the requirements and which we need in order to board or create a simulation application on the CloudSME platform. They will be involved in the creation of the simulation-based applications. So basically, the project will provide technology providers who are familiar with the platform. There will be another type of player, those who are familiar how to port, create, or migrate simulation applications on the platform. And we have to work with the new prospective CloudSME partners who will use this application. The new simulation software providers first have to adopt the simulation software to a CloudSME platform. Again, we will provide a technical help or technical support from the technology provider partners to develop and to manage the platform. This is the phase 1, and in phase 2, they have to work together with the engineering and manufacturing SMEs who will use the simulation software package and who will run the simulations under the CloudSME platform. This is the last slide, and this is a short overview of the proposal. So if you have a look, you will see there are 4 major components: application short summary, the industrial relevance, impact and exploitation plans, the work plan concept, and we also need some general information. I also included the threshold for each component. You have to keep in mind that the application short summary has a double weight. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry, I made a mistake. The industrial relevance and impact and the exploitation plans has a double weight. Okay, so when you are writing the proposal, you have to keep in mind. The application guide contains the application template, and the open core website also contains the evaluation criteria. Thank you very much. There is one more slide which is a reminder. These are the deadlines. So we expect to submit all the applications by 25th of June. Then there are certain days which basically are defined by the Commission. There is a process which we have to follow, and it means that what we want to achieve as latest in January 2015, the selected SMEs will be a partner in the CloudSME project, and they can start working on the simulation software or on the simulation application. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much for your attention. So we have actually now finished our part, and I think we can now start what is the major aim of this. What is the major aim of this webinar is to answer your questions. So now I'm opening the floor, and please unmute your microphone if you have any questions, and we are very happy to address or answer questions regarding to the slides, regarding to the presentations, and regarding to any aspect of the open forum.
Well, it's Thomas Krebs speaking from Mechathron. I have a question. Hello?
Yes, yes, we are listening.
I think we could be an applicant of type number 2. That means we are a small independent software vendor who has a simulation software that would be needed to be transformed into the cloud, so to say. That means we would have to form a consortium. How big is that, or how many partners would such a consortium have? And so would the consortium as a whole be the applicant, or would all the partners of the consortium be applicants? And do all the partners need to be SMEs, or may there also be bigger enterprises?
Okay, I can answer your question. So the minimum number for the consortium is 2.
Okay.
Because you need yourself as the simulation software provider, and
Okay.
you need a viable use case, which is a real-life use case provided by an SME end user who is from the manufacturing and engineering domain. Now, for the end user, in this minimum consortium, the requirement is that they must be SMEs, and your company, the simulation software provider, is again preferably should be an SME based on the EU criteria. But the end user company must be an SME. That is absolutely must require.
Is a university or something? Is this also an SME, or? This is really a
university does not constitute as an SME. So SME typically is a commercial organization, not an academic institute or not a university. And also, I'm talking about SME based on the European Commission's evaluation and definition. So if you visit the European Commission website, then they have a very clear and straight description what their definition of the SME is. And
okay.
this is a requirement not in the application phase, but later on, is that in order to join the project, all partners need to be validated by the EC. Their SME status needs to be validated by the EC. So we have to provide some balance sheets and some required documentation.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
So I think I only answered half of your question, because the other question was that whether how you write a proposal. So you write one proposal as a consortium. But obviously the members of the consortium will be independent organizations, and they will join the project as independent partners. So all the members of the consortium are going to join the project as independent partner, and will get a budget based on your proposal and how you calculate your proposal. And regarding other partners, well, in some exceptional circumstances, I can imagine that some other partners, for example, university competence centers or larger companies, do join these consortia. But in that case, their role has to be very, very clearly defined. You have to justify why you have to include such partners. And the impact should be 100% tailored to the SME partner, the SME software provider and the SME end user company. So we would like the impact to be focused around industry and not focused around research. So the impact here should be real business impact for the SME. What revenue they are going to generate in the future, what new services they are going to provide as the outcome of this project, what is the real benefit, the real tangible benefit for the SME to participate. And if you need an academic partner to support this because the SME doesn't have the expertise, that could be justified.
Okay.
One remark, academic organizations may not be the main beneficiaries and the main contributors of in the project. So they could be a driving force, but the key roles should be played by SMEs, both the simulation software providers and end users.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, my name is Thomas Tillman. I'm from Media, and we are providing CFD simulation software. Is that a type of simulation software?
Sorry, we are hardly able to hear you. Can you repeat it?
The sound quality from your device is very bad at the moment. We can hear you, but we cannot clearly understand you.
I'm sorry for that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I try to understand your question. I may have to ask you to repeat if I don't know.
You can submit a chat message.
So basically the question is, we are providing the CFD simulation software, and the question is that the type of software or solution which is still needed in this project, or are you looking for something else?
So I understood everything, every single part of your question except the type of software which you are offering.
Can you repeat it? So what type of software are you offering?
We are offering a software engineering company, Media, and we are providing flow simulation software, CFD, computational fluid dynamics.
Okay, but in that case, that is exactly what we are looking for. So we are looking for new simulation software, simulation in the relatively broad definition, which can be used by manufacturing and engineering companies, And there you have a real-life use case when a SME end user is interested in using this software.
So in order to progress on the project, we would need to apply for the open call until June 26th, I think.
Yes.
And apply with, let's say, consortium partners which use our software. And these have to be small and medium enterprises, right?
Yes, this is exactly the
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Christian Sinefo here from T-Systems. We are a very large European cloud provider, and we deal with large companies, but also with SMEs. We have also public cloud offering. My question is clearly in this open call, is there a role for a cloud provider bringing skills or services in the field of data mining, obviously all the cloud infrastructures, the flexibility around the services and so on? Do you see a role for such a cloud provider in this context?
I believe that the answer is more or less a straightforward no for this. So our open call is restricted to end user use cases. And at this stage of the project, we are not looking for new cloud platform providers. I believe your cloud is an infrastructure as a service cloud, if I understand it right.
Yeah, okay. On top of that, any services like data mining, big data processing, and so on, we have the kind of processing layer for that. There again, you don't see any opportunities there.
Well, again, directly for this, I think the answer is a really straightforward no. As part of a use case where you got something, an application which runs on top of your infrastructure and very specifically requires your infrastructure for a specific simulation for an SME, it may be considered. The only issue could be that obviously in the project we don't have budget allocated to, for example, connect our platform to new cloud infrastructure. We are already supporting 4 or 5 different cloud infrastructures to the CloudWalker platform, but in the project we don't have any further direct budget allocated to connect to a new cloud infrastructure. So that may be.
Okay, this is clear. I understand. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi there, it's Andy Smallbone here from CMCL. I have 2 questions. They're very brief. The first one relates to the cost share and the overall budget for these projects. And the second one relates to the statement that it's engineering / manufacturing SMEs. What if it's an engineering company who doesn't manufacture anything?
Okay, so regarding your first question, what is very clear and what I can definitely say is the overall budget which is allocated in our project for the open call is 400,000 euros. So that is all the budget which we have. Now, this budget is, as Gabor has described, for the use cases. So that means that we don't expect you to provide expertise regarding our platform or even the cloud technology, because we are going to provide person months and contributions from the project from inside in order to help you to port the simulation software to the platform and so on. What we expect for this overall allocated budget is that very specific expertise related to the simulation application, for example, access to the source code, if minor modifications in the user interface, for example, are required on your side, and also from the end user SME, their use case and the understanding of what they would like to do, and the intention of trying this out and providing real data, real life scenarios for this. So the 400,000 euros will be divided between all the successful proposals. Again, how it will be divided, that very much depends on the proposals themselves, and I can't tell it directly at the moment. What I can tell you is a kind of rough estimation which we have in our mind, but obviously we can still change that regarding the quality and the amount required by the different experiments. So we were thinking in approximately 10 new partners and 6 new experiments. So that means that you can roughly calculate 40,000 euros per partner. And if you bid as a consortium of 2 or 3 different companies, then a budget of 120,000 euros seems to be reasonable. But please keep in mind that obviously one aspect of the evaluation criteria is the financial feasibility of your proposal. You can bid for more or you can bid for less. If you are bidding for more, we may have to refuse your proposal because we may very much like it, but we don't have such large financial resources to support it. If you bid for less, it may be more attractive for us because we could say we support a very interesting project with quite enough money, but obviously we still have to see that for that amount which you are bidding, it is really feasible, because if we think that is not feasible, then again that may negatively influence the evaluation. So I believe I answered the first question of yours. If you got anything to... Yep. So
yes, you did answer the second question. I think what was clear to me was that when you talk about partners and experiments, you're separating the two out. So if we had a single experiment where we had 2 end users, then we could ask for, based on your model, 80K. Is that what you mean?
Yes, exactly. So if you got, for example, an experiment where you have 3 partners, 1 software vendor and 2 end users, then anything in the range of 80 to 120K for me seems to be a reasonable bid.
Okay. So that means, so what I'm proposing is an experiment with 1 end user, so we would ask for 40K each based on your model there.
That's, I believe, again, that is the rough estimate, but we don't tell you that this is the amount that you have to ask for. Companies in different countries may have very different financial models. The costs in different countries are very different. And obviously, the amount of work which needs to be put into a software, that could be, again, very different. So that's why it's very hard for us to prescribe what you need to ask for. It's your evaluation. I can again imagine that at a later stage, we have to go with some negotiation with the selected proposals. So for example, we may have to negotiate the budget in the very end when you are selected because of the budget constraints which we have. We just don't have more money than what we have allocated. And obviously we would like to fund as many experiments and as nice experiments as it is possible.
So that was very clear, so thank you. And the second part to my question was, what if the engineering company doesn't do manufacturing?
Well, it is engineering or manufacturing. That is that is the target. Now, engineering again can be described and understood in many broad areas or aspects. For example, if it is a software engineering company, I'm not 100% sure that I would consider that as engineer.
What kind of engineering activity or simulation do you have in your mind, if it is not secret? Hello?
Are you talking to me again? I guess.
Yes.
I guess when I say
maybe we can sort out the type of application which you consider.
So, a classic example would be that we would provide the software here to an engineering consultancy, who then do some sort of engineering design for a third party in general, but they want to develop their side on the CAE side.
I think that is fine. Again, we need real incentive and real evidence that the impact of this one for your end users will be significant. As you have seen the evaluation criteria, the most important aspect is the investors. That is with the double test.
I have a follow-up question. I have a follow-up question on the Andy's question, the first Andy question of Andy. You mentioned in your reply that some effort is already ready inside the consortium today for working with the people that will join. So if I understood correctly, and please tell me if it's wrong, the people that will join the consortium will join and will have to work in collaboration with the people already inside the consortium. Can you tell us what is this effort in terms of man-months or in terms of budget, which is already available for the current partners of the consortium to work with the new partners of the consortium?
I can't tell you exact numbers because those are not allocated yet. So we were not allowed to allocate this budget before the call is closed. Because obviously the outcome of the call, which becomes tell at this stage, will influence how the budget will be allocated and distributed between the existing partners and how we can support the experiment.
So
what I can promise is that we are going to allocate a sufficient budget in consultation with the new partner that will provide the necessary expertise to run that particular application on the platform. For example, if you apply as an end-user company using one of our simulation software, then the software vendor who is already in our consortium will directly allocate person months and will get person months from the allocated budget inside the project to support your experiment and provide you hands-on support to access their software, to provide you the necessary licenses, and to make any modification in the code which is required to support your use.
But it is also true for the second type of applicant. If you are a simulation software provider and you will join the project consortium, we will allocate a budget for the technology provider who created and run the platform, and they will help you to deploy and adjust your simulation software to be able to run on the platform. So
okay.
If you don't do that on your own, we will provide support, otherwise it will be an impossible task.
There is a dedicated work package in this project, which at the moment has no direct budget allocated, and that will be allocated after the outcome of the open call, based on the results of the open call.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, may I ask a question also? Another question. This is Hubert Klippe speaking from Chicago in Germany. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. More or less, again, the line is not very good, but
yes, I understand. Might be the connection. Anyway, the question is, if, for example, we apply as a consortium with two partners, will then the consortium in the next step extend it by a partner who is already in CloudSME? Or how will this work? Because you said you're expecting 10 new partners, right? For example, we've got the example. We are an engineering company, and we would do traffic engineering, and then we would have a partner which is a development software vendor, and so we've got a consortium, and we would like to apply, but then we've got to adapt to the cloud structure and so on. How will this?
The answer is will not be, because once your application is accepted, you will be adopted to a project consortium as a new partner. You will be a full-scale partner.
Okay.
And then from that point, you will work together with existing partners. So
okay.
So your consortium is only for the time of the visit.
I understand.
After that one, both companies will be full members of the CloudSME project, with all the rights which come with it and all the obligations of it, obviously, which come with it. And then it will be an internal problem of the project to distribute the necessary resources in order to support your use case. But as I said, we have those resources. We just haven't, we just cannot allocate those before we know exactly what you need. So once your proposal is selected, then we are going to start a negotiation process.
Yes.
And inside the negotiation process, we have to understand exactly what you need from us in order to most efficiently support your application. And then those partners will get efforts and person months in order to support the application which you propose.
And is there a template for the application? Let's say a template how where all the points that have to be addressed in the application are listed or something like that? Or is it more informal? Oh.
Yes, there is. I'm just opening the CloudSME website. I think my desktop is still shared. So if you go to the CloudSME website and open Pool, then you will be able to find all the necessary documentation. And one of these documentation is a template for the application. So,
okay.
Call application call.
Yeah, it is both in Word and PDF format actually. So this is we have provided a relatively simple one. We didn't want to overcomplicate things, and we don't want a very long proposal. So we wanted to keep the proposal as lightweight as it is possible, but we put down there the most important headings and what we expect as a content for that. Plus we provided a very simple table for your posting. This is what you can see on my screen at the moment. Did that answer your question? Yes. If there are any further questions, please do ask.
This is a further question. This is Thomas Tillman speaking. Are there any restrictions except for the fact that the both commercial members have to be SMEs? Let's say where the companies are located, I guess they have to be located in Europe.
The line was very bad, so if I understood your question right, it was whether there are any restrictions for the partners, whether they have to be SMEs. Again, I have to emphasize that yes, the end user company definitely needs to be an SME. So that
how do you define?
Sorry?
How do you define
the definition of an SME is the definition of the European Commission.
Okay.
If you go to the European Commission's website, they have a very clear definition what they mean on small and medium-sized enterprise. They define it by the number of employees which are employed. They define it by the annual turnover which the company produces and so on. And this is important because if your application is accepted, then you have to be approved and validated by the European Commission as an SME. That is the reason actually why we had to start the open call so early, and your work will only start in 1st of January 2015, because there will be an approximately 4 to 6 months period for this SME status validation.
Okay.
So the end user company definitely needs to be an SME, because this call from the Commission targets, as it was shown on Carmen's introductory presentation, target SMEs to help them through the value of that. Okay, so that is the whole point. Now we also prefer if the simulation software vendor would be an SME as well, because we would like to support those SMEs as well in order to market their software, and then we can provide bigger impact regarding the support for SMEs. So our preference for the software vendor is to be an SME as well. But again, this is I would not rule, for example, open source products out with an expert who is bringing them in. That provides sufficient benefit for a large number of SMEs. The other partners, if there is any need for other partners, that needs to be very, very clearly justified, and their role should be just support role, and the impact should be focused on the SME.
Okay. Do the production partners need to be located in Europe?
The restriction for the consortium partners is that they have to come from a country from the European Commission or from an international cooperation party, ICPC country. Again, the list of these countries can be found on the EC website. Just for example, Ukraine, Russia, Taiwan, China, Brazil, these are all ICPC countries, and applicants from those countries are eligible. But you can find a full list of ICPC countries on the European Commission website.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we are very happy for any further questions.
Yes, this is Giacomo Liotta from SBU.
Okay.
Hello. So,
yes.
Thank you for your answers so far. I would go, I'm looking at the template. I have some more practical questions as well as one more general. I would start with the more practical one, if you agree.
Okay. So the template is open. I believe that is what is related to your question.
Sorry?
The template which I show on the screen, that is what we have been referring to, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
Thank you. So first of all, I see the sections. It's very clear, and but at the same time, first of all, before the submission, should the company have already a PIC code?
Well, no, they don't have to have it, but what we very much suggest is that all applicant companies should either have it because they've been part of the European project, or if they don't have it, then they start the process now.
Okay.
That would make life much easier. Obviously, if the whole process can't go through until the 1st of January 2015, that could cause a problem, and that could make the company ineligible for the participation. So we very, very much suggest all companies who are seriously interested in this call that they contact the European Commission and they start obtaining a big number and they start the SME validation now. It doesn't cost money, it's free of charge, it is some effort, but we really suggest you don't wait for the outcome of the evaluation. If you very seriously think that you would like to do this, then start it now. This is the advice not only coming from us, this was the advice coming from the Commission.
There is another point. This is not the only call which is available. The European Commission started Horizon 2020, and this program is more focused on SME. If you wanted to join any proposal, full-scale proposal, or you wanted to join existing project through open calls, this validation and the big number is a requirement.
So practically the European Commission's message is that if a company applies for this open call, that company is very much likely to be interested in collaborating and getting funding from the European Commission. And even if their application for this call is not successful, they believe that the company would benefit from going through this process because next time obviously it will be easier. So this was the message again, and I'm just reflecting what the message from the EC is. But this is not a requirement, we are not going to check that, and that will not make the company ineligible.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. So by looking into the template, first of all, the classical in European proposals, the classical part related to the, say, state-of-the-art theoretical background, should it be, just summarized, or should it be quite detailed?
It shouldn't be very detailed. So if you have a look at this proposal, again, this will be a lightweight proposal. This is to that extent not a research proposal, that we are not looking for real breaking through innovation there, which has never been done by anybody. Okay? So if you are one of the software which are provided worldwide, but has a significant user community among SMEs, that is perfect, and you don't have to prove that this is actually an advance on the state of the art. Okay, so the advance will be provided by the project anyway, because what we suppose is that you are interested in this because your software does not run on cloud technology and would like to extend the user base with the cloud-based solution. But I don't think that a detailed state of the art in the form of the traditional big European project is really relevant here.
Okay.
Please keep the maximum page number for the proposal. So if I add them together, I think it is around 10 pages altogether what we expect, and not more than that.
Okay, perfect. In fact, by looking at the section number 2, so I see the impact and the metrics and the exploitation plan. So it should be a quite detailed business plan, something like this?
Yes, I think that is very important. So in the impact section, we would very much preferably would like to see real plans and real numbers. If an SME can provide that currently my customer base is based on this, and with the solution I'm expecting to gain 10, 15, 100, 1,000 new customers within the next 2, 3, 5 years, for example. Okay, with detailed justification how they would like to achieve that. Or I would like to develop a new product which is currently not available for me, or which I currently cannot market to SMEs, but it will be available for SMEs. This is exactly what we are looking for in this project. So we would like to obviously scrutinize that at the end of the project. So we would like evidence that you made a step towards that particular impact. Obviously, the impact could be longer term. We not necessarily expect you that you are providing financial impact within a year. That will be mainly for the development and for the business plan development and so on. But we need very clear business plan that how you would like to market it.
Okay, okay. So and all related also to new offerings, I would say, to the cloud and on.
Exactly. So it should be related to the cloud, but obviously related to the way to the software itself and to the actual use case itself. The cloud should provide the added value, we believe, which make it more accessible, more available, better from the resource perspective, more economic regarding the resource usage, or provide more computing power or more data storage capabilities. It very much depends on your needs.
Okay, okay. So for this purpose, so I mean, the cloud should be seen as an opportunity, I would to extend the offerings of the companies. I mean, it's not a full migration, but it's something that could enhance and create more users and so on, right?
Exactly. So this is a cloud computing based project. What we would like to do in this project is to extend your existing simulation software and the end user use case with cloud computing and prove that cloud computing can really add added value to this. So not just to expand it because of the sake of the expansion, but to prove that it provides added value.
Yeah, it's clear, yes. So thank you. Section number 3, work plan. Here I see tasks to be performed. So here, do you expect, as usual in European applications, work packages or just tasks? How much should they be?
No, we are not expecting work packages. We are expecting major tasks which you think needs to be carried out.
Sorry?
So, for example, what we expect.
Yeah, there's too much.
Okay, so what we expect is that, for example, your
die Koordination über den Teller, das ist auch ein wunschgemäß für mich.
I'm very sorry. Could you please mute your microphone?
In der Telefonkonferenz wollte ich gerade eine Frage stellen, ja? Ja.
Excuse me, Thomas, could I please ask you to mute your microphone? Thank you very much. Answering the question, what we expect here.
Wir können nachher noch mal kurz reden, also geht es in den neuesten Stand durch, ja? Jetzt warte ich ein bisschen vielleicht die nächste halbe Stunde noch, ja?
Then as host of this meeting, you can mute this microphone from your side.
Yeah, I can't. Unfortunately, only the host can use that. So I would like to ask I4MS as the host to please mute those microphones which are not muted because we can't run. But I can't use the microphone from my side because I'm not the host of the call. Getting back to the question, what we expect is that you have a very relatively clear idea. Obviously, this can still change during the negotiation, but you have a relatively clear idea what major tasks you would like to carry out. For example, we expect that your simulation software is already working in production quality and the commercial software. So we don't expect you to say things like, I need 2 or 3 person months to further develop my software in order to be suitable for engineering simulation. Because that is not something which we can fund from the project. But you can say things that this is the major scenario how I imagine running this. For example, I got an application which runs on the desktop, and I want my users to access this desktop application, and in the background, they just press a button and send the simulations to the cloud computing platform. And for this one, I need some minor modification, for example, of the user interface of my simulation application. This is one of the tasks. And we definitely want tasks where you describe your use case and where you explain what needs to be done in the use case development. How you validate that, how you benchmark that, how you prove the capabilities of that. So I believe these will be the major tasks. But again, it's up to you, and it very much depends what you would like.
Mm-hmm. Hello, do you understand me? It's Thomas Haupt from Finazone talking. May I ask a question?
Yes, definitely, please.
Okay, we are a startup software provider from two universities, and we are using an open software framework based on Java. Our simulation software runs since years. We provide technical improvements and interfaces. That's our business model. If we would run in your cloud, we need extreme challenging computer power. So is there any, is here's the place to talk about the computer, for instance, available RAM and other key figures, what you can offer. So we need.
Yeah, I can provide a very high-level overview of that, but if you got very specific requirements, I suggest you to write those down in an email and send it to the official open call mailing list. And then we are going to compile an official answer for that. My short answer is that in the project, we have several cloud platform providers. These platform providers are some of them commercial cloud providers, and some of them are academic and open source cloud providers. Now, in the commercial front, we can use Amazon resources. We have allocated budget in the project. You don't have to allocate budget yourself. In the project, you already have budget allocated to use Amazon resources. So if on Amazon there is any public image available which suits your requirements, then the answer is immediately yes. Okay, so that is one commercial provider. We have another commercial provider. The other commercial provider is called CloudSME. CloudSME is a Swiss-based, small, independent infrastructure as a service cloud provider. They are project partners. and they offer some very interesting and different or more advanced sometimes capabilities than Amazon. So if your requirements cannot be fulfilled by Amazon, we can investigate whether, for example, CloudSME can support those requirements or not. But for that one, I need those specifications in detail, and then I have to forward it into the technical experts of CloudSME. I can't answer that question in this call. And we also have some academic clouds, which are based on two major technologies, Open Nebula and OpenStack. So these are mainly academic clouds, small to medium-sized academic clouds, where again we can relatively flexibly provide you with required resources, but we have to know, again, if you got some very, very specific requirements. For example, if we support GPUs, I have to make some investigation whether we can support that out of the box.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, do you think 100 gigabyte RAM is a challenge you can fulfill?
I'm not ruling that out, but again, I have to seek advice from the cloud technical team. Not ruling that out. I think that's probably something which is which could be feasible, but again, please forward this as an official question to the open call mail, and then we are providing with an official answer. I don't want to tell anything which is not.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, please. Any other questions?
Yes, I have an additional question about the proposal.
Yes.
What about the work plan? I mean, the time schedule. Should it be, how long should?
Okay, I think this is a very important question, and I believe it somewhere should be written in the documentation, but maybe overlooked. It's definitely in the slides which Gabor put up today, and I already received a few requests via chat. We are going to publish these slides on the Open Call website. So the slides will be up. I'm going to ask the dissemination team to put the slides up to the Open Call website. Now the time frame is 1st of January 2015 until 31st of December 2015. So the time frame is 12 months, and that is what you need to plan for.
I have another question, but more related to the evaluation. So, are we going to speak about this or in a further presentation?
So we can talk about the evaluation. Yes, I'm very happy to. That will be no further presentations. I'm very happy to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. I'm a national contact point for Belgium, so I'm not going to be someone who's going to submit a proposal directly, but I've been speaking about this to several companies, and one concern that come back is the intellectual property. In the guideline, it is mentioned that the evaluation will be made by 2 independent experts plus 1 expert coming from CloudSME.
Yes.
Okay. I understand the need to have an expert from CloudSME in the evaluation panel because, I mean, there is the interaction that can happen between the proposals and CloudSME. But some of my customers, if I can say so, raise a concern about the confidentiality of the proposals. So can you tell us what you have planned for ensuring the confidentiality of the proposals, and how we can be sure that the idea that will be proposed is not going to be taken somewhere else by people from CloudSME?
Well, this is an interesting question, and I'm not 100% sure I can give you a complete answer for what we are actually asked. I may have to discuss that with the European Commission. I believe all rules are exactly the same rules when you are submitting a proposal to the European Commission. So there is no difference between submitting it to this open call or submitting that to the European Commission to any of the FPs or Horizon 2024.
Well, there is one big difference, which is with the European Commission, you submit with the electronic submission system, while here we have to send the proposal to an email address.
Yes, I appreciate that.
Is there any non-disclosure agreement that can be signed or planned inside CloudSME?
The evaluators have to sign the non-disclosure agreement. So it was a commission requirement, and they will.
We haven't planned specific non-disclosure agreement from the CloudSME side. I see no problems actually signing anything like that if that is required. It did not come up so directly as a requirement so far, and I haven't heard that from the other projects who already run their open calls it has come up. But I don't see any objection against signing a non-disclosure agreement, because obviously we want to keep the proposal confidential. Now, what is going to happen is that obviously these proposals will not be completely open to the whole consortium, but the CloudSME consortium needs to understand what the proposal is about. And the CloudSME consortium is going to decide or make proposal based on the evaluation of the evaluators regarding the selected project. This is according to the guidelines and the rules of the European Commission, and this is how they advise every project to run an open call. So again, we just 100% follow the recommendations and the requirements of the EU, but they don't put any specific requirements for non-disclosure agreement.
Okay, thank you. A follow-up question on the IP, but this time assuming that the consortium is joining the project.
Yes.
You have published the consortium agreement on the website, so thank you very much. Will it be possible, well, since there will be new people joining, there will be an amendment to the consortium agreement, but yes, is the IP part with a foreground and background and a joint ownership can be also amended?
Yes, it can be. Yes, the answer is yes. But obviously that needs to be done as a consensus inside the project.
Thank you very much.
Yes, we are happy for other questions.
May I pose another practical question?
Yes.
About the section number 4 budget, I see a table in case of participation of more than one partner. Should each partner fill in one table, or is there should it be?
No, it's one table per consortium. Yes, so if you have a look at the table, it has participant name. We put 3 lines here. If you got a bigger consortium, obviously you can put in extra lines. So you put each participant, what is the person month, and what are the costs which you are asking for that particular participant.
Okay, okay. So there is no need to or is there also need to allocate for each type of tasks, or we can in the work plan define how many?
No, you can indicate it briefly in the work plan, but in the financial summary table you don't have to put that down.
Perfect. Thank you.
In your work plan you can indicate which partner, or you will indicate which partner is going to do what, because that's very important for us to understand why those partners are partners in the consortium.
Okay, you have to also put efforts at the partner level, participant or partner level, and it will give a clear indication about the contribution of each partner. So please have a look at the table.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
I have a question about cloud provider. So, if I understand well, we can run computation on the a chosen cloud provider on your website. There is a list on your website.
Yes.
And do we have to specify one cloud provider that we choose on the proposal, or we can choose it later?
No, this is again a very good and very important question, because what is, I think, one of the major selling points and novelties in the CloudSME project is that we provide solutions which will be at the end cloud infrastructure independent. So we have partners inside the project, more specifically the cloud broker GmbH from Switzerland, who provide the cloud. Could you please mute your microphone, because there is a very, very big echo coming back from you. So most importantly, the cloud broker GmbH from Switzerland, which provides a cloud access platform, which makes the software independent of the actual cloud infrastructure it is running on. So our aim is to make your software available for as many different clouds as it is feasible, or as it is suitable for your use case. Obviously, it can depend on your use case, but we definitely don't want to tie you into one particular cloud provider, because we believe that this flexibility gives you much more opportunities in the future than if your solution is tightly coupled for one particular cloud.
Okay, but I think that we have to choose one to make to run our software. We can choose one. We can run our software in several cloud providers, but we have to begin with a chosen one.
Well, yes.
I understand that our software has to work in every cloud you can provide. But we
I didn't say it has to work on every cloud. So what I said is that how the Cloud SME project offers access to the cloud is not directly accessing the cloud, but accessing the cloud through a cloud broker platform layer. And that platform layer hides the different nature or the different interoperability details of the cloud infrastructure. Okay, so that is our major concept, or that is our major idea. It still doesn't mean that your software will run on every single infrastructure with service cloud, because you may have some specific requirements which not every cloud can fulfill. But through the cloud broker platform layer, at least this kind of cloud infrastructure layer will be transparent from the user point of view. And our aim is to actually show or demonstrate that this can be run on multiple clouds and can be very easily switched from one cloud to another. And in the use cases which you already implemented in the CloudSME project, the 5 core use cases, we already achieved this, and we try to achieve in every single case where it makes sense to run the actual software on as many cloud resources as it is possible, but again through the cloud broker platform. So the porting is actually not put on your shoulders, that will be done by us.
Okay, so if I understand well, you are between the cloud providers and the end users, and we have to only one access to CloudSME to a cloud computing. So we don't have to choose one cloud provider, as I think before.
Exactly.
We will access the cloud provider through your platform.
Exactly. So
okay.
what is our vision? Is that CloudSME is a one-stop shop. This one-stop shop again has been implemented by our project. This is the CloudSME App Store, which is a completely new component inside this platform. And the end user typically goes to this App Store, browses it, finds an interesting application, and then provides mechanisms how this application can be accessed to the App Store. This mechanism could be, for example, a web interface, and then the App Store provides the necessary link to the interface of the simulation software, or it could be a desktop application which you can directly, for example, download from the App Store. And then all the cloud access is completely hidden behind that. That is what is programmed by the simulation software provider, by the platform provider, by the project, and so on.
Okay, thank you for answering. I understand.
Any further questions?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. For you, what are the main differences between the Fortissimo project and the CloudSME project? Because I don't.
The other project, sorry?
Between Fortissimo project and CloudSME project.
Okay, I'm not necessarily want to comment on this, okay? Because I'm not participating in the Fortissimo project. So my knowledge, obviously, about the Fortissimo project is the knowledge of an outsider knowledge, and not much more than that. I do have an opinion. I can very briefly summarize that opinion, but obviously this is not necessarily something which is official or which we, I believe, definitely should provide. So Fortissimo and CloudSME are two projects which are completely independently funded by the European Commission for the same goal. So the European Commission decided that they would like to fund two projects which are dealing with SMEs and providing cloud computing technology to SMEs. Actually, it is three projects because the CloudFlow project is to some extent, again, very similar to that. But each project has slightly different objectives and slightly different user target communities and so on. Now, what I see personally as the major difference between Fortissimo and CloudSME is that CloudSME provides a very specific technology. So in the Fortissimo project, the open call is about providing resources by Fortissimo and then asking the consortium members to use their own resources in order to enable their applications on the resources which are provided by Fortissimo. The CloudSME model is slightly different from this. We not only provide resources, we provide the technology, and most importantly, we provide expertise to that technology, with which we take off the burden from you to port the application into this particular platform. So in the CloudSME open code, I can imagine, for example, applicants with much less IT computing or cloud computing background that what would be required in the Fortissimo. And that's why the CloudSME core, for example, is targeting manufacturing companies as well, who may have absolutely no expertise or knowledge about simulation or about cloud computing, and we are very happy to have those with expertise, with consultancy, and in the end, porting their use case into the platform. I believe that this is a significant difference between CloudSME and Fortissimo. But again, this is my private opinion. I know CloudSME, but I'm not a member of the Fortissimo.
Okay, thank you. That's very clear.
Yes. Any other questions?
Hello?
Yes?
Can you hear me? This is Leonard from Tallinn. I would like to ask if you received or if you have some simulation projects running with LabVIEW or Simulink. Because our plan is we have a project about cutting technology, and we are actually started already using Simulink. But if we present it to this project, we would have. I understand that we would have to check if other platforms like Simulate or ASCOM or other software provider would be more feasible for this.
Well, you don't have to do that, but that is one way of approaching. So you have two options. Okay, I'm not very familiar with Simulink. So I suppose that is a commercial product. Yes, a licensed commercial. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. So in that particular case, I think the difficulty would be is that either you can bring in the software provider into this project themselves, and then you can apply together with Simulink in a consortium. And I think that would be perfect. Okay. But if you can't do that, then I see a problem that we can't get access to the code. We can't make any necessary modifications of the simulating software in order to enable that to efficiently access cloud computing, for example. We can't modify the user interface. We can't decouple, for example, the simulation engine from the user interface, and that could be a problem. If this vendor is on board, it is typically not a problem because they are willing to do these kinds of things. And if you can't bring them in, then another option for you would be is to apply as an end user and investigate whether some of the existing simulation software is suitable for your needs. I believe that we have two very generic simulation software based on what we are doing. One of them is Simulate, which is a discrete event process simulation and which can be used in many discrete event simulation scenarios. And the other one is the standard software from Ascom, which is a fluid dynamics simulation. More specific, but obviously for fluid dynamics scenarios, a large range of fluid dynamics scenarios would be sufficient. The other two simulation software, I think, is very specific. And those are for very specific problems. But again, you bringing in the simulation software vendor, that is very much welcome. Okay. Any further questions? Okay. If there are no any questions, then I would like to wrap up this webinar. Thank you very much again for your participation. I hope it was useful for you. It was definitely very, very useful for us because we now better understand what your concerns, problems are, so we can hopefully address that. As I said, we are going to make the slides available, at least the CloudSME slide, but I believe the I4MS slides can also be made available publicly on our website under the open call page. If you have any further questions, on the official email, I believe it can still be submitted, and we can answer those questions officially in the public official email. So thank you very much again for the participation. And if there are no further questions or comments, then we are going to close this call now.